Hey, how's everyone doing today? Alright, so we're going to be doing an SM boost with a Prot Paladin. And just before we get into it, I want to go over some of the quality of lives you can have before doing these boosts. One is to set up a macro for stop and follow. And I'll leave a link in the description below of what weak aura this is. It's the Victorious Autofollow. And to share it with people, you would go into party chat, open your weak auras, and shift click the Victorious auto follow. That's how you share it with people, so they could also have your weak auras as well. You're definitely gonna need that for boosting, because about 90 to 95% of people just want to AFK. And you also want this as well because you don't want to wait on people like moving on their own, because sometimes it just costs more time, you know. Another quality of life is you're gonna want to make some want to sell macros. So this is for trade channel /4, and then for the general channel /1. And I pretty much promote that I kill about 200 mobs in this boost. I do Cath arms in library. And then the cost, I do 70 for 5, 130 for 10. And I also promote that I have a full AFK on which one it is, the double exclamation mark follow. And these are really important because you're going to want to, like, while you're running the actual boost, I just spam these constantly until I get a full party. And if you do Google how much your daily lockout is, it's going to say 30, but the reality is they lifted that for TBC, so you could boost as many times as you want in a day. You can do as many dungeons as you want. There's no daily lockout on dungeons anymore. But the first thing that pops up on Google says 30, so that's kind of misleading. Another thing is you're gonna want to bring extra shields. You're gonna want at least like 3 shields. I bring 4 just in case. Um, but if you rotate your shields, it costs about 3 shields before your gear starts breaking down. And I actually bring repair bots with me. You only need engineering 325, which isn't too expensive. It's when you get to like 350 that engineering becomes really expensive. So I do recommend bringing repair bots, and they usually sell, like, make up for their own money, because if you drop one, it's gonna sell scrolls of agility and strength, which sell for more than the repair bots. So you usually profit from using these, and they cost about 22 gold each, about 100 gold a stack, something like that. But this would just bring quality of life. It's just, the runners like it more. It just makes you look better too. You know what I mean? Like, you could let looters sell their stuff. You know what I mean? But just make sure you get the scrolls of agility and strength. Don't let somebody sneak that on. Like, I've had people try to ninja that from me before. All right. Well, let's get into it then. Oh, and a few other things you're gonna need is you're gonna need potions. You don't always use these, but sometimes on a Cath pool, like, I'll emergency have to use one of these. Like, it's rare once every 10 runs, maybe, not even. And sometimes it's mana, sometimes it's healing. And I do bring dark runes as well. On the really rare occasions, like, I'll have to lay on hands and use a dark rune. And usually that happens when I forget my Righteous Fury buff and my Greater Blessings buff. Uh, so when those two wear out, then usually, or my shield breaks like mid pool, and I don't notice it. Those are the times, like, I do have emergency potions. Like, I'll start seeing my health just drop dramatically. You know what I mean? Some of the things you will need for this is you will need a figurine of the Colossus. You get this from Shattered Halls, the last boss. And I also get Debiri's Enigma. I believe this is a quest in Netherstorm. It's a group quest. You're going to need 5 people. I did it with 3, but I had like a really epic out DPS, so they were like tier 6. So you're going to need that for sure. And for the weapon, I only use Exalted Lower City rep weapon with 40 spell damage on it. Out of all the shields I do recommend is the Petrified Lichen Guard, which it comes from Sporgar reputation. which is over here. You're gonna get a quest that starts over here. You have to do 2 quests first for reputation, then you could do the turn-ins, and then you come over here to do the rest of the turn-ins, I believe. And that, over here is where you buy the actual shield. And if I were to, I mean, my guy's kind of set in stone. I have some epic shields too, but if I were to do this over again, I'd probably stack 3 of these. The kill time on this, it does about like 1 free consecrate per run, you know what I mean? Which for Cath is important because you are mana heavy on Cath. For arms and library, it doesn't matter that much. Like usually, I don't even drink in between arms and library. But you're definitely this shield. It's really cheap. You know, the reputation only costed me like 10 gold or something or less. It was really affordable. And it really is the poison on this, and it almost does as much damage as the Felsteel Spike, but it almost like doubles the Felsteel Spike, pretty much, you know what I mean? And it's just cool to see the poison pops up, you know what I mean? I don't know why, I just like seeing it. I would recommend bringing a lot of water, you know what I mean? You don't want to run out of water midway through. Usually this much water will last me for the day. I'll usually get up to like 1700 gold, and I'll get tired after that. It takes like 6-7 hours, and then I'll go ahead and transfer that money to my main and call it a day. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's go ahead and let's get it running. Let's do Cath. So the first thing I do right away is I kill this monster, because if there's a low-level person in your party, they're gonna get aggroed by this. I just make it a habit. So what I do is I kill this guy, I alt-tab, and I go to my notepad and I mark everybody's runs up. You know, I keep a tally of how many runs everybody has. Oh, and by the way, you're going to also want rank 1 Seal of Righteousness and rank 1 Consecration. These are just for pulling mobs. I'm going to drink even though I only need 10% because Cath is mana intensive. So I go ahead and I just consecrate these first 2. Rank 1, Judgment this guy, kill this guy. And I look for a Pat on this side. He's right over here because sometimes he can walk way over there at the end. And that is just annoying, and it's easier to pull people in the beginning than it is later because you have way too many mobs on you, you know? And I just auto-attack these guys. I don't want to waste too much mana, you know what I mean? Even though it's rank 1, it adds up. It's like 2% each time. For this, I'll consecrate. Oh, and don't Blessing of Freedom. You want to keep your Greater Blessing of Sanctuary. When these guys frostbolt you, you're gonna want to what's it called? Cleanse it off. Whenever they slow or frostbolt you. And if you really want to, you could do Frost Resistant Aura, which I've noticed a difference. And then switch to your Sanctity or Retribution Aura later. You can do that. Judgment that guy, and then this is where you want to bubble and open the door. And then if you're a Blood Elf, you could mana tap this guy because it has the most range. If not, you could just Judgment him and it's fine. This is where the most Frostbolts and slows hit me usually, so I get ready to cleanse. Just in case. It looks like none happened though. And then this is where I Judgment here, auto attack here, or consecrate. And then you jump up here, and notice that these guys will stop chasing you. You don't want to stand here too long because it can reset it, but you can get some holy lights in right here. And then you're going to want to run over here this way. This is why it's the most mana intensive, because of those holy lights pretty much. And you're going to want to run. Sometimes there's a Pat right here. Save a Judgment for if there's a Pat right there. And if you go over the waterfall, it resets them a little bit, so they have to run around a little bit more. And it gives you time to collect these last mobs right here without getting hit too much. And I always look over here if there is a Pat, you know what I mean, that I did forget. And I will run and grab him. I'm just a little greedy like that, unless it's too far that I won't care. But usually you want to clear everything because sometimes, like, maybe 10% of the time you'll get a looter, and that guy just wants to loot everything while you're, instead of full AFK. It's really rare to get looters. Most people just full AFK. But if you do get a looter, you do want to clear everything for them so they have that, you know what I mean? Just to be better service. And I do use, you will notice Seal of Wisdom to keep that mana up. And it's on this pool, if you are Blood Elf, then I will use an Arcane Torrent with 3 charges. It is on the Cath pool that I will use it. And then after they all run away, you want to run over to this spot over here, so all the Frostbolt casters will come back to you. And I just sit here and wait a little bit, and then I'll start consecrating again. And sometimes you're going to get some stragglers, like see how this guy has full health over here? Sometimes you get some stragglers, just focus them down with auto attacks and Seal of Wisdom. Now Mulgrain isn't going to drop any loot because just check if there's any extras for looters if they want to loot this. Alright, and then move on, and then I'm not in a party, but this is where I would, they'd usually just be standing here. I'd hit my follow macro, then I would come out, and then I get out of combat here. This is where I fill up on mana. I do it right here because I want to go into arms and kill those 2 guys right off the bat. And usually I don't have enough mana for that, and I want to kill them fast, you know what I mean? Then I would follow them again, make sure they're following, kill this guy just in case they attack my Bais. If there are looters in your party, I do offer them if they want to get a key in library. It does take a little extra time because you have to slowly pull. They don't full follow like Arms and Cath do. They break follow. You want to kill these guys right away. I've snuck past them before and have or not snuck past them. I have pulled them into the main train of pulling, but like for some reason when I do that, sometimes they reset and go back to the entrance, and then they kill the AFKs. You know what I mean? Because one guy's maybe too low level and he pulls them. So that's why I always just clear these. I just make it a habit. You know what I mean? All right, let's drink mana. We're gonna want full health for this pool. And we've already noticed that, yeah, we lost 11 durability just from Cath alone, you know? So you'll see that, like, you go through repair bots every, like, 4 or 5 runs. If not, you can just run to Brill and get a repair there, and people will be understanding of that. Mostly they're AFK, they don't even notice. But I used to skip everybody here. Here, let's get mana tap that. I used to skip everybody here and wait for Pats and get to the end and then pull them all to the entrance. But what I've noticed is more efficient if you pull them on the way. It's a lot faster. You don't have to wait for Pats. Like there's a Pat here you have to wait for, you know, like a mage. He's right over here. You know, you have to wait for Pats like every few corners, you know what I mean? And it took up too much time. So I just pull them on the way over, and what I do at the end is you'll see I create a bunch of distance between us so they don't even hit me on the way back. Alright, I got a mana tap up, so I'm looking for anybody that has mana to get a free pull in. And then right up here I like to use a consecrate first. And then save a judgment for this guy over here. And then I just run past this guy. And then I bubble and open the door on the right side so these groups get aggroed. Run on the right side here. Judgment him. And then go up the opposite end here, and then you'll notice that like there's a bunch of distance between you and the mobs now. And you can just run all the way back. You're gonna have these 4 mobs hit you. This guy's gonna whirlwind eventually, so he won't hit you anymore. There you go, Blaze of Light. And then you hit these guys. These guys might hit you, but I have Pursuit of Justice, which gives me 15% move speed, so you know I'll probably create some distance between them. It's pretty easy peasy. You just run all the way back, you know. And the only reason we do library is pretty much you're gonna get locked out because you can do only 5 dungeons per hour. So you want to do that to fill in some time, and you could promote 200 mobs. Like everybody in here usually promotes 200 mobs. You know, you want to judgment that guy right there, attack, just auto attack or run past these guys. And these guys, you just want to level 1 consecrate. It looks like I grabbed some over there already, actually from mana tap. Now this is where Figurine of the Colossus right here becomes really handy. What it does is it heals you every time you walk. So I'm just gonna pop that. I'm gonna sit here with Seal of Wisdom and auto attack. I'm not even gonna consecrate yet. I'm gonna wait for Harad to get here. There he is. But what I do is I Seal of Crusader, and then once the Whirlwind goes down, I'll do Avenging Wrath, consecrate, Judgment the Crusader, and then do Seal of Righteousness, rank 9. And Harad, you'll see Harad just get melted here. Don't forget your holy shields as well. It doesn't do that much damage. It's really minute, but you know what I mean. It's just killing faster. And if you're curious about the shield, you'll notice that yeah, it did about 32,000 damage there, where my consecrate did about 145. You know what I mean? It actually almost doubled the Fell Steel spike. Wow. Did more than my Greater Blessing of Sanctuary. So the shield is really nice, and it's really cheap. It's easy to get, you know what I mean? And then usually they're AFK here. I just use my follow macro, bring them out here. Oh, one cool tip as well is I sit out here and I wait for my aura to pop up on them. That's how I know they all got out of the dungeon. If one of them's missing, if my aura isn't showing up on one of them, that means they still got in the dungeon. I have to run back in, follow him, and bring him back out. And that happens once every 6 or 7 full resets. You know, it's really rare. It usually has to happen with like latency issues. But I would hit my follow macro again, have them come out here. You know, make sure they all have my aura. Then come in through a library now. Go ahead and get a good drink in, and you don't need full mana for library. To be honest, you can get away with like 70%, but let's go ahead and just full drink. And I start with a mana tap. I just want to keep that 10. I just want to keep it at 10 minutes and save it for my cathedral runs as like a form of emergency. And you just really want to like you can consecrate these guys. And I save my judgment for when I get to, I think it's Loki is his name? Loxy. I select this first hyena here, and I jump up here and judgment him. And then judgment should be on cooldown when you get to this corner right up here. And I use it on this guy right here. There's auto attack or run in front of this person. Consecrate. Auto attack. And I only pull up to here. The reason why we don't do a full dungeon run is, like I said earlier, they don't follow forever. They will disconnect from you. For some reason in library they do that, you know what I mean? So you can't do a full run. And if you were doing a key run and you were getting a key for like a looter, you would have to come back and follow them up to the next choke point, clear the room, come back, follow them up to the next choke point, clear room, and do it all the way to the end because they don't follow you and they break really short distances, especially after that room I was in. So you just wait for everybody's here, go ahead and pop my figurine and my Avenging Wrath, Consecrate, Holy Shield, Seal of Wisdom. There I got a Houndsmaster Loxy. I'll shoot my Wisdom at him and then I'll use Seal of Righteousness to kill him faster. Because you really don't need the mana on this fool that much. And usually, if I didn't have a full party while I'm running this, I'll hit my want to sell macros, I'll do 2 in looking for group and 1 in general chat, and I'll do that like every like once a dungeon or twice a dungeon until it fills up, you know. But that's a full run right there, and then I just bring him back to Cath. I kill that one monster while I go to my notepad and tally up everybody's run order. And when I step out, maybe it'll show how many I killed here. Maybe I have to be in a party. Yeah, 203 mobs, 13 minutes. Easy money. Sometimes you get locked out, sometimes you don't, you know, and you just wait a couple minutes. But that's it. That's 200 mobs. You make when I charge 70 for 5 runs, that usually takes like an hour 5 minutes. So like in an hour, that's 70, 140. It's like 280 gold an hour, something like that. Pretty easy. I only have like 11,000 health, which is like not even T4. You know, like I think my Tankatronic goggles are adding like 1,000 life on its own right there. You know what I mean? And then the rest is like blues and purples, not that much, you know. I mean, for this, what I always wanted to get was the consecration Librum. I forget what dungeons, like Manitombs or something, or AC. I can't remember. I know it's one of the. I think it's one of the lower city dungeons. But this is for tanking raids. You know what I mean, for avoidance cap. But yeah, the only thing I do wish I had was the consecrate, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Like, as you notice, I have a lot of blue still. You don't need a lot of gear to do this. But that's it. That's an SM boost run. Hope you guys liked it. Follow me, like and subscribe. Check out my stream. You know, you see me doing boosts all day, getting ready for that wrath. You know what I mean? All right, have a good one, guys.